Hey, this is Dan Lilker from a bunch of fucking metal bands, and you are watching Chaoszine.
What's up? Chaoszine is today here in Tampere, Finland, and I have the pleasure to talk to Dan Lilker of many bands, like you said in the introduction.
Yeah, I was too lazy to list them, but you'll see a bunch of that stuff on Friday.
So, how are you? How has the summer started for you?
Oh, pretty good. I've been looking forward to this. I had a busy spring, more than I expected, and yeah. It's great coming back here. I've never been to this particular city, so I'm really looking forward to the show, and I think we will have a good time.
So, like you mentioned, you played with Anthrax, South America, and a couple of US dates. So
Yes.
How did that go? What kind of experience it was for you?
I think it went pretty well. I think I had enough time. I was given about 5 weeks advance notice to learn the set list, and obviously a couple of songs I knew pretty well.
Yeah.
And I think with the crowd reactions and everything, and you know the whole tour organization, obviously with those guys, it's all very professional. So you don't have to stand at the airport and wait for your bass to come on the baggage claim. Somebody does it for you and all this stuff. But yes, I think in general it was a pretty positive experience. It was fun playing those songs, and I think people enjoyed it. So I think it was a fun, positive experience.
But you weren't like that active in the music scene anymore. So when they approached you, was it like immediately that fuck yeah, I will do this, or did you really have to like think about it, that whether you want to do it or not?
Well, it was just a case of, it is true, haven't really been playing in, a full-time band anymore.
Yeah.
Nuclear Assault disbanded. The last show we did was the UK Death Fest in September 22.
Yeah.
So when I was approached with this offer, I just said, sure, that would be fun, because, normally I just want to have age gracefully and just hang out at home with my lovely wife and everything, but this was an opportunity to have a little fun, and also I could cross more countries off my list, because I'd never been to Uruguay, which is how you're supposed to pronounce it,
Yeah.
or let's say Ecuador or El Salvador and Costa Rica, so I got to go to those places, which was cool, and I knew that the whole thing would just be 2 or 3 weeks, and then I could just go back to my normal home life, except being here. But this was pre-planned, so this should be a really good time too. But I may be getting ahead of things. Sorry, I'll just drink.
So how was it like to go up on stage and play with the guys again? Did it bring like a lot of old memories back into your mind?
Well, the stage that I was at Anthrax was very early, so I didn't even tour with the bands back in the days. When I was in Anthrax back in the early 80s, it was just mostly local shows, maybe a show in Pennsylvania or, Philadelphia, but I wasn't touring with them. I did not get to that stage. So this was the first time that I'd, played anywhere with them that wasn't, driving distance from our homes, for instance. So in that way, it was a new experience. But just in general, yeah, I made sure I knew all the songs, and we had a rehearsal in Mexico before the first show, and everything sounded good. So I like to be responsible. Like, okay, Danny, you have to learn these songs. I wanted to learn them very well so I could go on stage and play them with confidence and bang my head and not just stand there hoping I'm playing the right notes. So I drove my poor wife crazy, because every day after work I would come home and rehearse the Anthrax set. So she heard Caught in a Mosh 50 fucking times. And but I think it was beneficial, because, I think I did a good job. And I'm not saying that egotistically. I'm just, the next morning you go on YouTube from your hotel room and you go, oh, cool, sounds good.
I did good job.
Yeah, good enough.
So obviously you are the founding member of the band, and like you said, you are on the first album, so you knew those songs already, but how was it like to play like Frank's parts?
Well, what I did is I didn't worry about playing every exact note he played.
Yeah.
I tried to put my style on stuff, so I'm still playing everything so it will sound familiar, but I have a different tone and a different approach. I used more distortion and a pick, so it was almost like Anthrax with S.O.D. bass, or maybe something like that. Yeah, I put my own personality on it.
Yeah.
But I also, I didn't go crazy with that. They still have to recognize them as the original songs. So I don't know. Like I said, I think it went pretty well.
So did you like discuss about it, that whether you should play them like as close to the originals, or did the guys just give you like free hands that do whatever you want with your bass?
Pretty much the second option. They trusted me. Obviously Scott and Charlie, I played with S.O.D. more recently than, 40 years ago. And when we had the rehearsal in Mexico for a few hours before the first show, I plugged in my bass and, had the distorted bass sounds, and I said, is this okay? Is my bass too distorted? And nobody said anything or paid attention. They were still just...
They were just like nodding that.
So I said,
okay.
That's it. I'm going to play like this. And I think it made it interesting, because I think it made it sound, heavier and darker. But that's just me.
So now they announced that Frank will be playing with Satyricon in the summer. So did you had like any kind of discussions whether you will play with the band in the future, or was that only that, or?
No, I think it's only that, because Anthrax had no plans in the summer anyway. They weren't doing all the Eurofest or anything. So during the summer, everybody at Anthrax would go do something else.
Yeah.
So I think Frank had that plan anyway. So it's funny because, Satyricon are old friends of mine from, the Norwegian scene. So Scott had told me, though, that Frank might do something like that. And I, of course, was surprised. But, I think as we were discussing before that this is rolling, that Satyricon has changed from the very grim, dark stuff to more kind of like dark rock and roll.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool, and I think he'll be great with that. He's a great bass player.
So you are here in Finland because you will have your own show in a couple of days. First, I want to know that how this all happened.
Well, we wanted to make Jan from Prestige happy, because the whole thing was about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. He contacted me to see about the possibility of Nuclear Assault playing one of the speed metal parties they have here. And we said, well, I'm not sure how much stuff the band's going to do now, but we could try to arrange something. And then we tried, and then we had COVID. So obviously for a couple of years there was no activity. During this period, Nuclear Assault stopped completely. So that wouldn't be possible anymore anyway. So he came up with this idea. What if I fly you to Finland and you could play songs from all the bands you've played in, and I will arrange all the musicians? And I said, yeah, that sounds like fun, because, I'm not really playing in the bands anymore, so it will be a cool experience to come back here. And my wife has never been to Finland before, so I wanted her to see all, the beautiful nature and have some drinks.
So were you like nervous that how will this all turn out?
No, not really. I just have to do a little bit of mental rehearsal tomorrow for 2 songs, Soldiers of Metal and Death from Above, that I haven't played in 40 years, because Metal Thrashing Mad was in the Anthrax set, and Death Rider, the other song I'll be doing from that, Anthrax, whatever, played twice on that tour until Charlie didn't want to do it anymore. So I looked at the rest of the list, because I picked all the songs. So I said, we'll play these songs from Fistful of Metal, and there's just a couple I've been too lazy to remember them, because for me it's best to do it like 5 hours before you play, because I know the skeletons of the songs, but then tomorrow I don't even need the bass. I just put on the travel speaker and the phone and go, oh yeah, that's how it goes, and it clicks again. So it should be no problem.
So it's like a memory thing that it just comes out there like naturally.
That muscle memory thing, yeah. I just have to listen to those songs maybe once each and do a little air bass and go, okay, this part and that part, because I want to make sure that I play them correctly, because I'm going to make everybody else play them correctly. It would look stupid if I was the one who made the mistakes, right? So,
But you can always complain about the others.
right, I could just blame, like the rotten sound guys or something.
So, in terms of the set list, you have obviously been in a bunch of different bands during your career. So, was it like hard to decide what you're going to play tomorrow?
Well, yes and no. It was given a certain amount of time, like, as far as the length of the set, I figured it would make sense. Like, obviously, Brutal Truth songs are shorter, so maybe we could do 6 of those, and maybe only, like, 4 Nuclear Assault songs or something like that. So, but as far as the selection of the songs, obviously, with the Anthrax material, I was only going to play stuff off the record I was on. Because that would be a bit nervy to start playing the other stuff, even though I did recently, and say, oh, we're going to do I Am the Law or something. But so with the other stuff, with the bands that, I was in consistently, like S.O.D, Nuclear Assault, Brutal Truth, you just had to say, okay, well, I'm going to pick 20 minutes worth of material from each band or something like that. And as far as narrowing down the selection, it was really songs that I had played live with these bands before, and obviously there's certain hit songs like Hang the Pope, Somebody Wants to Hear This, or, but it wasn't that difficult. I just said, let's play this, and then I just sent the list.
Have you ever done anything similar? And would you see yourself doing something over in the States, for example?
Haven't really done anything similar to this. This is kind of funny. It's like, it's almost weird because...
Yeah, you're coming to Finland to do this kind of thing.
Well, I was also going to say, I don't like having lots of attention paid to me, so now I'm going to be like the star of this, so I'm almost uncomfortable with it, but that's just because it's my nature. I'm not super egotistical, I guess. I'm fucking special or anything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I told some friends in Norway about this, and they were like, you should do one here. And I'm like, I'm not going to do it in every fucking country. But the joke I made with my wife, because traveling here was difficult. We had 3 flights, all of which were delayed, so it was like a 30-hour journey to get to get here from our home. And I said, the next Lilker Fest is in our backyard. And, that's it. They can come to my house. And, and we have lots of beers in the fridge and friendly cats. And it should be good.
Before we wrap things up, I want to ask you a bit about the future. So, what does it hold for you? Do you still plan on playing every now and then when opportunity rises, or how do you see the future yourself?
It's really just if something comes up and I think it's interesting. Like, for instance, in July, I will be at the Obscene Extreme Festival in Czech Republic doing the first Brutal Truth album, all in a row, and a similar thing that it's just me and then local Czech musicians. So just little things like that, not going out on tour unless, of course, somebody texts me and says, go tour with Anthrax in Europe or something, and then I go, maybe. But I am not planning on, playing in a full-time bands anymore. I was playing in a couple of local bands where I live in Rochester, New York, playing grindcore and black metal, but that naturally kind of stopped. People moved away or did other bands, and so I just have an approach now where I'm mostly just going to chill out, and if something interesting offer comes up, then I will think about it and go, maybe, and that's why I'm here,
But you would still be up for doing more Anthrax shows if they would approach you one day, if they would need you?
I don't see why not. I thought it was fun.
So everything went well?
Yeah, I think everything went well, but I'm not taking Frank's job. It's his job.
No.
I was just doing it, he had personal reasons he couldn't do those shows, and, that's that. I don't know what the future holds, so.
Hey, thanks a lot for taking the time, and all the best for Friday's show. Anything you want to say to the fans?
I just want to express my appreciation for everybody who has made something like this possible. Not only, Jan and the Speed Metal Party guys, but also everybody who comes out, because, if nobody cared, then I wouldn't be doing it. So, and I always remember that. So I just want to say, thank you guys very much. Even if you're not coming to the show, even if you're just somebody who supports underground and extreme metal, then that's made it possible for me to do things like this. So just thank you. Kiitos.
Thanks.